Okay, so our first topic is something that will happen after the midterm, the idea of sevenths on chords, okay? So up till now, we've been doing triads for chords. So for instance, three notes like this, F, A, C, this is an F chord, and we've learned that because of the spaces between here, 4 half steps, 3 half steps, this is a major triad, we'd call this F major, okay? And then if we lowered the third with a flat, it'd become F minor, and so on. And we've done tons of work. And you get work this weekend doing more repetition because repetition is important. And I'll try and make a good case for that. And we could see that here on the keyboard. If we put our notes there, F, A, and C is an F chord right there. And of course, if we did A flat, it would go to there and be lowered like that. Okay, we can manipulate this F chord to be any kind of major, minor, augmented, or diminished. Okay, so we call the first note the root because it's the beginning. Okay, right there, root. And then if we count up the note names, like this is an F and a G and an A and a B and a C, then this would be 1, 2, 3. And this note is called the third because it's the third note in the steps of the scales going up, right? And then this would be, so that'd be 2, that'd be 4, and this would be 5 right there. So we call that the fifth, right? Root third, fifth. If we want to have a chord that has a seventh on it, you're just following the same pattern. So 6 would be there, and that would be 7. We would just add that note right there, and that would be your seventh. So an F chord with a seventh will be the triad, right? Like that. And then the seventh right there. That's all it means. It's like stacking it up. Again, if you think of like one note as ice cream, and then 2 notes is your birthday, root and third, and this is a ridiculous day when your grandmother's there, and she says you can have as much ice cream as you want, and your mother says no, but your grandmother says quiet, I'm the grandma, I can do what I want. And so you get a triple decker, and that's a triad right there. But then this here, when you add the fourth note on top, is like you and your significant other just decided to get engaged, and you're at that place where you can eat each other's ice cream, of course, and it doesn't matter. And so you put 4 ridiculous scoops of ice cream on top, and this is the seventh chord right there. Okay, it's a dumb idea, but you get the idea. Okay, and that's it at its basic level. And so we worked really hard on triads this term. In the first half, you become excellent at them in lots of different ways. And what we're going to do is we're going to add on the seventh in the next half of the term. So this will not be on the midterm. Okay, we're just previewing this for what's coming up next. And once you can spell all your chords up to a seventh and really understand them, you're good for about 90% of the commercial music you'll see out there. When we get into jazz or certain 20th century kinds of music like impressionism and things like that, they start adding ninths and 11ths and 13ths, but you got to have the foundation correct, and getting a seventh on there will be fine. Okay, now I want to just show you the sort of what's coming up here. Okay, so let's say I did this on C here for a second. Okay, so there's a C and an E and a G, and I'm going to add my seventh. Now, if you have a keyboard at hand, that's great, but if not, I'll show it to you right here. You just go up to the B, C, E, G, B. Okay, there's a trick way to doing this, which is, if you noticed your next note is a C right there. So if we were in class together and you had your paper keyboards in front of you, then I would have you do this. I would say, everybody take your fingers and put your first finger, not your thumb, first finger and second finger, and maybe your fourth finger, your pinky right there like that. And then when you want to find the root, just put your thumb beside it. Sorry, not root, seventh. The seventh is always one step back from the root. So if you want to be quick at spelling these, if I say to you, hey, how do you spell a C chord with the seventh on it? You go C, E, G, and then you come back here and you just go one backwards. And as long as you're not thinking dyslexically through the alphabet, right? Because some people will yell out D because it's right there. But back one, B, you've got it, right? So if I said, hey, what's a D chord with a seventh? You go D, F, A, and then you'd say there, C. Right? It's up there. Okay. If I said, hey, spell an A chord with a seventh, you go A, C, E, and you can keep going up if you want, but you can just go right there like that. Okay. I'm going to pause a minute if you don't understand what I just did or would like me to re-explain, just go ahead and let me know in the chat. And if I don't see anything, then I'll know that you're shy or you get this. Okay. All right. Yes, no, cool. All right. Now, the next step after finding the seventh is to understand that just like when we had triads that were C, E, and G, and this is 4 half steps and 3 half steps, or if you went to E flat right there, instead, then it becomes 3 half steps and 4 half steps. And if you went to G flat right there, then it became 3 and 3. And we've made major triads and minor triads and diminished triads that what kind of triad you have and then what kind of seventh you put on top changes drastically the way that these guys sound. Okay, let me give you some examples just so you can hear. Okay, and I'm not even going to turn the camera or anything. I'll just play you some chords. So here's C major, right? Just the triad. Okay, but if I throw the seventh on there, and you know this chord because we're going to test it today, C major 7. Okay, that's a major triad plus a half step below the root. So there's my C, E, G, it's a major triad. And then this is just one piano key backwards. Sounds like this. Now don't worry about memorizing all the names. That's what we'll do in the second half. But I want you to understand the concept that if you have a major triad and then you have a half step below, that changes the sound a certain way. But if we were to do a whole step below, right there, okay, so now it's a whole step, 1, 2 half steps, then that's your C7 chord. Sounds very different than half step below. Okay, this is rock and roll and blues and jazz and things like that. This one here is like autumn days where you get to wear sweaters and things like that. It's also word that you hear at the end of every Avatar: The Last Airbender, where they go as they fly off like that, right? Okay, so that makes a difference. And then of course, if you have, you know, a minor triad right there with a minor 7 or the 7th on it, it's different. Here's your minor triad. It's got a very, I don't know, like well, minory sound. It's not sad, it's not angry, but it's not major. If I throw the 7th on there, it smooths it out. If you think of it like food, like triads are like candies that you'd get at Halloween, and when you add the 7th, it's more like food that has spices and things in it that has a more complex taste. You know, they're both fine, but you know, there we go. And that's your 7th chords right there. So we're not going to belabor it much more because we want to go through some other things, but you have a triad, right? Right. Here's our treble clef. You have your triad and you add a 7th on top. Or if you want to think of it like we did on the keyboard, there's your triad and there's your 7th right there. Okay. And part of our focus for next half of the term will be saying what kind of triad plus how much of a distance down or up, right? We'll have names for them combined together to make different kinds of chords, right? And then what do those symbols look like? So you'll see something that says like C, and you'll see something that says like C major 7. That's a kind of triad plus a kind of 7th. And then you'll see something that says C7, and that's a different one. And then you'll see C minor 7. These are all C half diminished 7, C diminished 7, right? They're all different kinds of triads combined with different distances to that 7. And these make up, you know, this is your triad. These make up the core of most sophisticated music that we listen to. Okay, most, if you get beyond triads, this is it right there. And we'll get plenty good at them, especially if you're really good to begin with at the triads, and I hope you are. So that being said, I'm going to go to share screen real quick here, and I'll just preview the weekend for you. You'll be like, no, why so many triads? Okay, so That's not it right there. I'll talk about that in a second. So it says, here's our day here. And it says for the weekend, you're going to do more daily triads on that green sheet, right? There's a video, watched helping you do that. And are you doing them? And I'm just going to have you repeat because repetition is important. And then, you report each of the days, right? 2 days this weekend, right? Another column of triads. Okay. There's a video explaining it. You might say like, why? I kind of know how to do it. And I'm gonna haven't done this before in other classes, but I'll show you an example. Rather, like this morning, I got up and what did I do? I practiced the pianos. First thing I did, working on these right hand runs in Beethoven. They're very fast, and I just work on them incrementally every day. Iteration or repetition, everybody gets in sports, but for some reason in academics, we think no, it's boring or something. So I'm gonna just show you that. So I have a kid away on a mission for our church, and he's gone for 2 years, and he's an animator and an artist. And I do things when my kids go away. Like one time, one went away, the older ones, I said, what do you want to do? And he was a musician, so I wrote a song every Sunday. I'd sit down and write him a song, and I made it as a book of like 110 songs or something like that. Right now, he says, Dad, I want you to draw every day. And I'm going like, really, seriously? He said, yeah. And so here's me drawing every day. Now, hold on, I'm just going to burn through these, right? Every day, right? And it's not just drawing. You can see that there's, like, oh, that one's too tall or this or that. Iteration with feedback, so you get better every day, right? And why did I choose Pokemon for the first sketchbook? Because Pokemon are all about shapes and getting them in the right place and getting them the right size. And then my next tech, it's like, those are pretty easy. And then, there you go. Next book. Okay. First time using shading. There's Zelda. I mean, not Zelda's Link, but Zelda the game, right? This horse was really hard compared to everything, right? And I'm just going to start cruising through these. And you're going like, how long have I been doing this for? Well, it's been 9 months now. So now I'm starting to draw some realistic pictures, right? There's my hand. People go, why is your thumbnail so long? Well, I'm playing ukulele, right? So, okay. And there's a panda riding on a whale floating with balloons. All right. And Piglet in jail and King Arthur picking up the sword. And like, you wouldn't notice it picture to picture, but that's the kid that's out actually on the mission right there. Okay. But, all of a sudden, if you compare from day to day, it gets better because of iteration. And, then you start doing silly things because you're running out of stuff to draw, right? And you try different things to, challenge yourself. And I'm just burning through these, not because you need to see any picture in particular, although there are some that I think are funny. That one there. Don't look this up. I thought it'd be funny to put Ernie and Bert and Muppets with like one eye and stuff like that, but actually there is a very adult version of the Muppets in the Netherlands. Anyhow, it's not good. Not good. Ducks, turtles, right? Stuff. Jurassic Spork, Jurassic Stork, finally Jurassic Pork, and it's me when I'm watching episode 34 of Star Wars, if I live that long, calculated it out. And just like, it's like it goes on forever, right? It doesn't go on forever. The point is that you get better with iteration, right? Stuff I'm drawing now couldn't have happened before. And so my granddaughter got born in the summer, right? Yeah. The point is that you don't see change over days. You see it over weeks and months and things like that. We have 10 weeks in this class. You need to practice every day. You need to do some of these things every day. And, there's my last lot I just finished. I'm just going to go through because you should see like, wow, he actually like walks the walk, musician hands. Okay. Then working on hands right now. Then faces. Okay. Disney people, Hellboy, Yzma, right? Uh, uh. And then finally, this is where I'm at right now. Use my power bent into other things, you know, is working with media. Okay, the point is that, yeah, so kind of like that one there, working with whiteout as a medium. The point is that iteration is the only way you get from, from there, from here, which is just circles, okay? Don't ever, say that you don't have 10 minutes to do iteration. You always do. So, please don't think that I'm punishing you unnecessarily. It actually really, really works well to do something every day. Now, it's a lot of work. I appreciate that, but it's only 10 weeks worth of work and then you're done, right? And you'll be on the other side with great music theory skills and applicable ability to play ukulele and stuff like that. So yeah, and you're in a college class. So I hope that you go like, I got something really useful out of that. I love those turtles. Like, thank you. That's fine. Okay, so there's that. It's 9:17. Here's what I have to do with you now. I'm going to go through all of the midterm, everything that's on it, and then you're going to test each other on chords. Okay? And hope this isn't, too boring for you. I'll try and keep it relevant. So October 29th, that's today. Today's daily list has a comprehensive midterm task list, and then written midterm, the module, and then, or what's on the written midterm. And then here's our checklist for testing today and stuff. If you wanted to, you could go out to the modules themselves, and you'll find an all about the midterm module. There it is. And you'll find the written midterm and the performance task if you want to keep track of the 29th of October. So let's go with written midterm just to begin with. So the written midterm it's been broken up into a bunch of different kinds of, what am I going to call them? Different kinds of quizzes, or so you can do them separately. So one's on note naming correlation, one's on rhythm and counting, one's on triads and chords, okay, one's on scales, and one's sort of complex questions about, like thinking about ones and five chords and stuff like we did last time. I'm going to show you each of these quizzes. They're in the module. Hold on. They're in the module right there, but they don't open up until the 4th. Okay. So let me just show you each one of them. I'm happy to let you peek in. So it says midterms are closed book tests. You can't use your packets or other materials. You can always have your ukulele with you. That's fine. Okay. Just don't write cheat notes on your ukulele. That's all. Okay. Pencils, pens, that kind of stuff is fine. Even a keyboard, if you have a keyboard, but no keyboard names and things on the notes. Some of the beginner keyboards have those kind of things. And this one tests you on your ability playing a rhythm in time with the metronome, as well as counting them. So I'm just going to sort of show you, and you only get one attempt. Okay, so I will, I'll show you what this looks like just briefly. Okay, so you'll see that there's like a rhythm right there, right here. Okay, and then there's countings underneath it like that right there. And then it says which one of them is the right counting. Okay, I guess I don't want to show this too much because somebody could unscrupulously screenshot a bunch of these, but it'll have 4 different countings on them. Okay, and then it'll have which counting is the right one. And it has a bunch of those, right, all through. I just want to go over the real basic principles of counting rhythm. So I'm going to make up a rhythm right here for on here. Okay, and I'll stop sharing screen for just a second so you can see this better. If I had a rhythm that looked like this, and then do, and then do, that. Okay, like this. So there's 2 things you want to make sure. One is that all the numbers of the beats are written, even if they have a parentheses around them because they're not articulated, they all have a number. So in this case, we're in 4/4 time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, because this is 1, this is 2 beats, 2, 3, and 4. And then if a beat is not articulated because it's in the middle of a note or a rest, you put a parentheses around it. It's testing you on that. You might see a counting that looks like this, and you go like, that looks fine, but this is wrong. That's the correct one. Okay. All right. You also might see a counting that looks like this, 1, 2, 4. And that's wrong too, because we need to see the 3 is represented. Notice though that there are no notes on the ands of the beats in between, and we don't have to put those in. In fact, if there's something that looks like this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then it's got all this stuff like that, that's wrong because it's got extra information that we don't need, right? So here, this would be 1 and 2, right? 3, and hold on, let me turn this a little bit. Here's the funny thing is this is 4 is hidden in the middle and right there. A lot of people get the dotted rhythms wrong. A lot of people make mistakes on where to put the ands and where to put the parentheses. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful. There's one question at the end. I'm going to share screen again. All right. Where it says, it says like how many of these are in here? So equivalency, right? What does a dot do to a note, right? You have choices. And then finally, there's listening to audio, right? And it will tell you like which one of these are played, right? So you'll play the audio, it'll give you 4 choices and it'll be which one of these ones got played. So you have to match what you're hearing. And then finally, last one here, you'll put on a metronome, set it to 70, and then you will play this rhythm just by muting and strumming the strings, and you'll upload the file. Okay, so that's your rhythm right there. Okay, all right. Midterm part 2, triads. Close book, da 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 da, same kind of thing. Let's take a look at it. It says, well, let's match up major augmented triads, and it's like how many half steps are in them. Just definitions. Okay. And then you'll match those, and then it'll be like, what's the correct spelling for all these different triads, like all the C triads and all the C sharp ones. So I'm seeing if you know how to modify a C triad to make it the different qualities. Same thing for a bunch of other note names, right? And then finally, like here's some pictures of triads. What are they? Here's some chords. What are they, right? And then here's some more chords. What are, tell me what the notes here are that would result from the chords. Okay, and then, you know, it's just that. This is not really different from what we've been doing in the class. In fact, none of these will be a surprise. If you're current in the class, then it's totally and absolutely like, this is just what we did in class, and that's good. I think there's a place for questions that say, let's stretch and see what we can do and see how you think and stuff like that, but not here. Here, you're just demonstrating, I learned this stuff and I'm pretty dang good at it. So, you know, that's it right there. Okay. Triads, scales. Again, they'll be like, how do I spell these scales descriptions? These are your blue flashcards, right? So you just choose, that may look like a lot, but you know, you just say like, hey, C major is no sharps or flats, right? It's just like your flashcards, okay? And then this is kind of an interesting one. It says, look, these here could be, you know, a note names. What kind of scale is that? Let me take you through one of these right now so you can see, okay? Let's say you had, I'll share screen here. Okay, so let's say you had your keyboard right here and it showed you this. This was a note, and that was a note, and that is a note, and that one's a note, and that one's a note, and this one's a note. These are notes that are being played and they're part of a scale, but they're mixed up and they're on the keyboard. And this is sort of testing your ability to both read the keyboard, but also think about scale. So hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need one more. How about that one right there? Okay. So let me walk you through this. That's a G, that's a C, that's a D, that's an F, right? Okay. This is a G sharp or an A flat. This is an A sharp or a B flat. This is a D sharp or an E flat. Now, question is, which one is it? Which scale is it? So as I look at this here, I go like, there's 3 sharps or 3 flats, right? And I can go against the knowledge that I have about scales. Like if it was a sharp scale, the first sharp would be an F sharp, and the next sharp would be a C sharp, and the next sharp would be a G sharp. Yes, this is what we learned from doing our scales. But I have a G sharp, an A sharp, and a G sharp. Those are not the first 3 sharps in the scales. If I had a flat scale, remember it spells the word beat. I have a B flat, an E flat, an A flat, and then it goes on to D flat. And look, I've got a B flat, an E flat, and an A flat right there. So it matches up with the flats that we would use here. So if you know what the 3 flat scale is, E flat major, you could figure this out. And then you can just check E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, and back to E flat again, right? So it's another way of just making you think about things. The other thing you could do if you're not sure is remember that your half steps in a scale, the half steps are between notes 3 and 4 and 7 and going back to 1. So in this case, it's going from G to A flat, there's one, right? And then D to E flat, there's the other one. And you got to have one of each note name. You can't have a G and a G sharp, right? So it can't be, it's got to be flats, okay? So you're trying to figure that out, right? It's just taking what you know and thinking through it backwards, okay? Let's see what else is in there. Yeah, just lots of that. And then what's wrong with these scales? I've written them wrong somehow. Figure out what's wrong with them. These are typical errors that we've made and we pointed out in videos all through the course, right? What's wrong with these? Okay. All right. Learning theory and miscellaneous. Yeah, let's just look at this. So it says if you're trying to play a piece of music by memory and you make mistakes because you're unsure how a passage goes, is this a mental or physical resistance? It goes back to week 1 where we talked about why we make mistakes, right? If you have some lyrics written down in front of you, but you can't speak or sing them correctly, the syllables go by too quickly, is this more likely mental or physical, right? That kind of thing. So I want you to show me that you can think about problems, right? Why do we do certain things? Which ones are not deconstruction methods? And you're internalizing this so that you can become your own ability, teacher, be able to practice and break down problems effectively. So yeah, and then what's the point of resting between why? And then finally, last a couple of things like why does this sound bad right there? Okay, there's a audio that goes with it. Okay, and there's something not right about it. And this is a multitask question, meaning you have to think about how do we spell these chords? How do these notes line up or don't line up with them? What are the actual note names and that kind of thing? And then you have to listen as well. Heck, I'll play it for you right now. That's kind of funny at the end there. Anyhow, you'll get a puzzle with that and bring all your thinking skills and all your theory skills and all your reading skills and chord spelling skills together to come up with an open-ended rationale on why is that the case. And then this is I promise I didn't cheat because cheating sucks and stuff. Yeah, if you cheat, you'll feel guilty and horrible. And at some point in your life, you'll come back to me and say like, Jewel, no, you say like Professor Watson, I'll say it's Jewel. And then they'll say, I cheated on the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'll be like, sucks for you, right? Having to carry that guilt around with you all your life, right? It's like, what can I do? I'm going like, nothing, get religious, repent, something, I don't know. It's like, it'll even be worse than that because you'll have thought about this your entire life or however long it takes. And I'll be like, who are you again? Not because I don't know you or care about you now as students, but it'll be years from now and I'll have had hundreds and hundreds more students too. And I'll be like, gosh, I feel really bad for you. Yeah, we don't cheat. All right. Finally, you have to make some videos and you'll upload them here. And all of those are open on the 4th, which is the day of the midterm. But here, this one's open starting Monday. So if you want to pre-make some videos and get that done ahead of time, you can totally make those up. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, video 1, you're going to make a performance of you playing You and I with the chords and no singing. I'm going to show you what that looks like in brief. It says no accompaniment, just you strumming chords and singing. So you'll be like this. There we go. The accompaniment has to be enough so that it sounds like an accompaniment. Okay, so I'd be like it's a very basic. If you just wanted to strum, oh, that's Lavender's Blue. Hold on. You could just go like this. You and I used to run along the shores. Just like that. If you want to, you can go. You and I used to run along the shores. You don't have to, though. Anything that works within your skill set that shows me that if somebody said, hey, play me a song, that you could accompany yourself and make it seem authentic. You don't get extra points for doing anything super difficult. I just need to know that you can do more than go like this. You and I used to, hold on. Run along the shore. See, there's no connectivity there. I am strumming a chord, but it doesn't make an accompaniment. Simply strumming every beat, nice and slow and medium would be fine. That would be perfectly fine. And so you'll go through and show me you can get through the whole thing. The next video that you make, and you can read through on the list, but it's basically you put on a metronome at 50, right? And you play the melody from beginning to down here, but you don't need to go back again. So it's showing me you can play with a metronome, right? And at a slow tempo, so you gotta be in control. So I'd be like, not rushing the lines, right? I'm using correct fingerings. I'm using my thumb to pick it, right? And you'd finish the line out, like the piece to the end right here, okay? Obviously, I need to see your hands in the video, right? And you'll upload those guys, okay? And that's what do you have to do for the midterms in terms of either writing the tests or submitting videos. There is a performance aspect for the live part as well, and I'll just go over that, and then we'll go to doing chords, okay? So if I go back to course modules, performance midterm comprehensive list. On Thursday next week, you'll have a 15-minute one-on-one with me in Zoom, live, face-to-face. And then what will happen is, this is exactly what we'll do. You'll check your tuning. So I'm going to switch cameras here just a second. Can I think I have to do cameras. All right. There we go. Okay, so the first thing we do is we would just say, play your strings, so that I know that you have an in tune instrument. If it's not, we'll make an adjustment, but that's worth points. And then I'll say, number 2, play a C major scale up and down from memory. We're not going to use the G on the 4th string here. It's just going to be the top 3 strings here. So it'll be, repeat the C and come down. Looking for good technique, right? With both hands and correct fingerings, and you're not looking at your hands during that time, okay? And then we'll demonstrate the chords. Now, you can, why don't you mute yourself or make sure you're muted. This is what you're going to do with each other right now or soon, okay? Is you're going to get into a room together and would randomize these chords, but these are the chords that you're going to play from memory. What that means is there'll be a list, but you won't have like chord charts in front of you or memory devices on how to play them. It's memorization. So I'll just go through these randomly, and this will be like training for when you get into the rooms with each other. I'd say like, oh, play A minor. And so you'd find your A minor chord, you'd go like that. Then I'd say, well, how about C major? Okay. What about D minor? And so what about A7? Okay. What about G? G7? How about G6? Okay. How about F? How about C6 or A minor? Same thing. Okay. How about C7? How about C major 7? We're looking for correct fingerings. We've had quizzes recently that say, use these fingerings, you draw them on. Most people have been reporting they've done really, really well. And you're just going to go through that. And then after you're done testing each other in today, you'll go and report on how people did, how you did. Okay. Since there's so few people here, I'll put you all in a room together and you can just work together like that. Okay. Test each other. And then one person can be sort of double checking on fingerings. Okay. But we'll do that too. Okay. And then you're going to perform Lavender's Blue. It's the same format as what you've done for your video already, except the accompaniment is a little faster. Okay. Same thing for Kudalun. You'll perform it just like you did for your performance video last week, except you'll do it with the accompaniment. I'll show you where those are. If you go back out to the modules like this, you'll see in the midterm, all about the midterm right here, it'll say midterm accompaniment audio right there. And you'll you'll click on this and you'll go like this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And
Lavender.
then we sing dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
Lavender's green. When I am king.
Dilly dilly. Okay.
You'll be my.
So it just starts and goes. Second half, you play the entire melody, right? And then it goes back to measure 9 and you sing and play till the end, right? It's just like we did. It's all business. It's like it goes and you do it, right? Kudalun, it's a little faster than what we did, but it's the same kind of thing. First, we play the melody and then we finger strum the chords, right? And sing. So it'll be
1, 2, 1.
and then we finger strum and sing chords.
Sing.
Love Bernie's and ding. Okay.
Try.
And that's what you do. So, and these audio are available now in the modules, so you can rehearse and practice and perform in front of people and stuff like that. Okay. One of the reasons why we're doing the Zoom classes last week and this week is so that, and today you're going to play ukulele for each other, not in real time, but like not some kind of piece, but just play this chord and stuff, is so that you can make sure that your microphone is giving you good levels and that you can hear each other and you can get the camera situated so you can see your hands and things like that, so that when it comes to midterms next week, your technology is already done. You figured it out. So there's a method to that. So those are the two things that you'll play for me in real time using these accompaniments. And then you'll make those other videos and upload them, okay? But none of it's new. Everything we've done extensively in class. So the idea is that you got to do it in class and you did really nice work. I can tell that from everybody here. Like I can tell you, I was very impressed with all the performances and things. Now you'll get a chance to do it live and you get to go and do it again, which is iteration, right? So yeah, and that's a way to solidify your skills, okay? All right. I think that's about it from my side of things. What happens now is, let's see if I can go back here. You're going to grab this. This is on October 29th. And, you know, some people said that they couldn't open up this before. So I'll just show you, this is a screenshot right there. You just keep a checklist. You say, who's being tested, right? And you'll, yeah, they're all the chords that we just did there. You can do them forwards or backwards. Can they play them? Can they do it correctly? Right? That's fine. If somebody needs to look at their fingers, that's okay. Right? Obviously, we want to be comfortable enough that we don't look at our fingers. But you know, if somebody looks down and kind of goes like this to play their G7 and like that, that's fine. Okay. And you'll just test each other, right? So there shouldn't be anything new in here. Yeah. And then when you're done that, you will pop over to peer chord evaluations, which looks like this. And it says, upload a picture of your own assessment and one other person's. Okay. But it has to be in the same picture because it won't take more than one picture for this. And then just give me a little feedback. Say like, you know, it went well for me. I needed to work on this chord, or the other person had a problem with these kind of chords and we encourage them to do something like that. Just a little bit of an idea so that it's not just a cold picture, but don't write me an essay, like 1 or 2 sentences for how did you do, how the other person did. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions about midterms before I let you go into your rooms and do that kind of stuff? Nobody? It's fine. So let me just summarize one more time in case somebody's watching the video afterwards and goes to the very end. Anytime between November 1st and November 4th, you can put up your performance videos of Koodledoon, not Koodledoon, sorry, you and I. One where you're accompanying yourself and singing, and one where you're playing the melody with the metronome as described. Okay. And then on November 4th, which is Thursday, you have 4 or 5 little mini quizzes, each one like chords or spellings, the scales, or how do we learn or something like that. And you can always have your ukulele or a keyboard nearby, but no prompts on what the names of notes are. And then we'll have a Thursday, sometime during the day, we'll have a one-on-one 15-minute, and I'll publish a schedule early next week or maybe on the weekend. If you have a conflict with it, just let me know and we'll pick a different time, but we'll probably go early in the morning and then later in the afternoon. If you know that you work early in the morning or something, send me a message and I'll try and accommodate that right away. Okay. Yeah, and then there's lists for everything. Everything's in the module, right? The peer chord evaluations. No, in the modules, it's all right there. Okay. All right. Do you all have ability to either make a list and test those chords? Do you need me to show you that again a little longer? Are we okay? We're good? Okay, I'm just gonna presume you're good. Then I will put you all in a room together, just round robin, test each other, right? And watch what the other person's doing. And thank you for coming to class today. Usually people are more afraid of missing points and not coming, but maybe because it's Halloween, people are on benders and they're not waking up on time and stuff like that right now. Anyhow, thank you for coming. I will post this up in the supplemental videos playlist if you ever want to come back to it. And let me make breakout rooms, and then it'll be your turn to do that. And once you're done, you don't have to come back or anything like that. Okay, breakout rooms. Yes. All right. Thanks. Have a great day, and we'll see you later.